journey as an actor started in this room, and I haven't been in this room in a long time. It was all very mysterious. You know, the technique and the thing, you know, it's, if you have no exposure to it when you come in, it's very mysterious. And I'm sitting there and I don't know what's going on. People are, I hope they don't ask me. Then there was a song and dance exercise and I'm like, I can go away. I just sat there for a long time. But what I did feel, which was the most important thing that I felt, in this room, and it was the first time I felt it, I felt freedom. I felt freedom of expression, artistic expression, that this was a safe place where you can actually be yourself. You could be more than yourself. You can express things that maybe you were afraid, that anything you wanted to express here was accepted. And I had never felt that in my life, and it was a big, mind-blowing thing to me, where I was like, and I felt at home. I felt, okay, this is what I need in my life and what I need to somehow pursue. It was that feeling that you could, you know, you could express the most vile things, or the most scary things, or the most taboo subjects, and it was okay. This was the place to do that. This was the place to discuss it. This was a place to explore your own fears, your darkness, you know. And for that, I'll always be grateful. I remember there was a guy. I was 17 when I started here. Most of the people were older. Most of them were like adults. They were in their 30s, late 20s, and 40s, or whatever. And that was a big deal too. To go from being with teenagers and kids, and now you're in a room with these adults who were really studying. Some of these people had been studying for a long time. These people pursuing their craft in a very serious way. It was a really stimulating environment to be in. Do you remember Alexander Goodfellas? He was in that one of those concerts, yeah. And I remember recognizing him. He was in Witness at the time. He was like a world-famous ballet dancer. And I knew who he was, and I was like, I'm in class with this guy. It was a very big deal to be treated. I kind of felt like I was treated like an adult for the first time in my life. And then you start learning this technique, which in the beginning is very hard. But what you learn here, I mean, the real foundation, the sense memory, relaxation, the moments, these things you will take with you. You're gonna, and I'm sure there are people here who do a lot of work already and know what I'm saying. These give you a foundation where you can be true to yourself in circumstances that are both friendly and hostile. You're going to be in situations as an actor where it's not all everybody's on the same page and everyone's creative and everybody's working from a sense of truth. But this work here gives you a foundation and a technique that you can bring anywhere. You can bring that sense of privacy, that sense of focus and concentration. I find that being able to relate to a character and to a script and to work through the senses and through these things is very grounding, because it's not based on intellectual judgment and it's not based on a moral judgment. It's just based on, it's kind of this very impartial, clear way of plugging yourself into something. So you don't, you don't judge whether the character's bad or he's good or he's immoral, he's virtuous. What you judge, all right, where am I? What am I doing? He's in a room, he's hot, he's sweating. So now you're just dealing with very physical, elemental things that immediately take your concentration away from your self-consciousness and your judgment or your insecurities and into the practical mechanics of the scene itself. So you're actually playing the scene. You're actually in the moment, which is probably the most important phrase I ever heard in my life. And that was a teacher, Charlie Lawton, who's not a teacher here, but the first time I heard it was from him, being in the moment. he also used to say, doing it while you're doing it, a sense of awareness of what you're doing, whether it's, you know, these exercises like the coffee cup, and they, you know, when you start to throw your concentration, you have clear, grounded things to put your concentration towards, and not, oh my God, there's the camera, here's the lights, and this guy's an asshole, and she's, you know, and she sucks, and what am I doing? You're not that, you're in your moment. Okay, well, who am I? I'm thirsty. I'm an alcoholic. So what does it mean to have this booze in front of you? How does it smell like? And I love it. You know, this work you will take everywhere, and it is extremely valuable. And I know you know that. I mean, you dedicate a lot of your life to teaching it. I mean, it's very, very valuable, and it's not to be taken for granted. And it's I think you're all lucky that you're here, you know, and that you have that someone has set this down as a technique and as an approach to art, and that it's taught by good teachers. You're gonna take it, you know, you're gonna take it with